Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to Concordia Stadium for today's first game of the 2022 football season between the University of Chicago Maroons and the Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Carter Gledhill, Peter Borkowski with you on the Cougar Sports Network as we get set for football again, Peter. It's always an exciting time in the fall when you're able to get ready for some football, and especially being the first week that students are back on campus at CUC, full week, I should say. Football's a nice capper on the weekend.
And there's a lot of enthusiasm around the team this year. Andy Lambert's second season as head coach here at CUC. A lot of things to look forward to the upcoming season, Carter.
Well, let's dive a little bit deeper into the Cougars season. Last year they went 3-7, picked up 2 non-conference wins in the beginning, but then it took a little bit while before they picked up their first conference win and their only home win of the season against WLC in the second part of the season. It was a lot of youth that was playing for the Cougars. It was a lot of learning, but most importantly, it was a lot of growth for this team. As you mentioned, Andy Lambert only in his first year last year with the Cougars.
As you mentioned, learning and growing, that seemed to be the key. A lot of young players getting their shot for the Cougars last year as they're in their early seasons. As Coach Lambert's in his first season at CUC, they're going to be able to grow together throughout the upcoming years.
Now they face a historic team in the University of Chicago Maroons. They've been playing football since 1892. Last season they went 8-2, but this is a team that has a lot of firepower offensively and defensively as well. They were shutting down opponents several times last year. They were putting up 60 points, and it's a team that the Cougars are going to have a lot to handle with, and it's going to really start on focusing on one player.
Right, Nicholas D'Ambrose, he's the name of the game for the U Chicago. The senior running back rushed for over 1,700 yards last year. That's second in all of D3. He led all of D3 in 171 rushing yards per game. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with, Carter, that's for sure.
Well, the Cougars have their one guy they have to watch out for, but when we come back from the break, we'll talk about some of the Cougars that could be a difference maker in today's game against the University of Chicago.
Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Welcome back to the Cougar pregame show. Carter Gledhill, Peter Borkowski with you on the turf as we get set for the 1 p.m. kickoff between the Maroons and the Cougars. We talked a little bit before the last break about some of the players for the Maroons that you have to keep an eye on for, but let's talk about the Cougars now. One player in particular for wide receiver purposes, Christian Covington, the senior from Texas, has been a big target for this offense throughout the years, and now in that senior role on the outside, he's going to have a lot of chances to go grab the ball, especially in the red zone.
245 receiving yards last season. Covington, big body at 6'2", 206 pounds. Great contested catch target. Really looking forward to the Cougars using him a bit more this year.
How about another big guy? Let's go to the defensive line. The 6'4" nose tackle from Zion, Illinois, Julian Ramirez, had over 30 tackles last year. He has been a consistent staple in the defense since his freshman year of joining the team.
Consistent is the key word there. He is the anchor of this defense, especially up front. They're going to have a big game today, Carter.
Well, offensively, thankfully for the anchor purposes, the quarterback, Finn Ehlers, is going to have to step up. This is going to be his first start of his collegiate career, and he had a couple appearances last year, but now he's in the starting role for the Cougars.
66 passing yards in his limited play last year. I'm excited to see what the sophomore can do in his expanded role now.
Well, we talked about a few players for the Cougars to keep your eye on for, but there is one player in particular that if you're the Maroons, you have to keep your eyes on at all time, and that is the senior running back, DeAndre Daniels.
Daniels was the star of the Cougars offense last year, over 1,100 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns, and he added another 200 yards in the passing game. He's just the 6th Cougar to ever rush for 1,000 yards in the season, the 4th player to do so. Daniels is the weapon of this offense. The second-team All-NAC member is going to have a big year if the Cougars want to be successful.
Well, as we get ready for kickoff, it's time to give our final thoughts. Peter, I'll toss it to you. Let's get one key for today's game. What are the Cougars going to have to do to have a big-time home win against the Maroons?
The front 7 is going to have a monster game up for the defense. Trying to stop Nicholas DeAmbrose is going to be the key for the Cougars defense. He really is the workhorse for this Maroons offense. If guys like Ramirez, Martin Egbo, and Jelani Warner, if they can all have big games today, Cougars are going to have a good shot.
Well, I would say for the Cougars, they need to come out with energy. I talked to Coach Lambert in the Coaches Weekly, and he said this fierce energy that they need to have on every daily basis for this team, but also on game days, because as a young team, they're still learning along the way, and it's going to be a tough competition today, but there is a lot to look forward to, especially with being the first game of the season. As we get ready for kickoff at the football game for the opener for the 2022 season, Carter Gleadhill, Peter Borkowski with you on the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be up in the booth with you on the call. Stay tuned for more football here at CUC.
Football time at CUC, opening kickoff, taken all the way back in deep Maroons territory. As speed near the sideline and stepping out of bounds is Kyle James. Welcome into the broadcast. Carter Gleadhill with you, joined by Peter Borkowski for the 2022 season opener here in River Forest. An early flag was thrown on the kickoff. The Cougars won the toss, deferred to the second half. We'll send it down to Michael Cunningham, the official, for the call. So an early penalty called on the University of Chicago. Last season had a spectacular season, 8-2, a historic university program that dates all the way back to 1892. Peter, these two teams haven't met since 2014, but it's a tough task for the Cougars and a great tone setter for the 2022 season.
If the Cougars can come out with a win against a quality opponent like this, or at least make it a very competitive game, that's going to bode well for the rest of the season and show that this team's got a lot to prove this year.
Leading the charge for University of Chicago is Wesley Gow, met on the side by Nicholas DeAmbrose, who gets the handoff and is brought down by Brandon Arredondo for just a short gain of a yard.
Stopping DeAmbrose, that's going to be part of the game plan today, Carter. You mentioned it up top in the pregame show. First team All-American last year. He is the offensive firepower of this U Chicago offense.
The Maroons had a margin of victory of 47 points last season under a new head coach, Todd Gilchrist Jr., his first season at the helm of the program. Quarterback keeper from Gow cuts back to the left side and gets the first down for the Maroons.
Gow, a senior coming this year, named co-captain of the team. He's only appeared in 9 games in his career for U Chicago. He's only attempted 2 passes, completed one of them for a yard. So senior waited to show out in his big-time debut here.
2 receivers to the left side, 1 to the near side for the Maroons. Gow rolls left, looks for a man downfield, and gets cracked as he was heading towards the line of scrimmage. What a tackle by number 14 from the Cougars, a big-time pop for CUC.
So this is what the Cougars need to do. This is the tone setter. Defense was definitely the strength of this team last year. They allowed the third least amount of yards per game in the NAC. This defense can come out, look strong against a high-powered offense. That's going to set the tone really well for the rest of the game.
Correction on the number, Trevon Thomas, the sophomore from Wauchula, Florida, who played in 10 games last season for the Cougars on the tackle. Trips formation near side for University of Chicago. Quick screen out to the right side by Kang. He's tackled near the line of scrimmage for a short gain. Will bring up 2nd and 9.
You mentioned Todd Gilchrist Jr., new head coach of the Maroons. He was the passing coordinator over at College of the Holy Cross, their D1 FCS team. Wondering if he's going to try and work some more passing into this offense that was so reliant on the rush game last year.
Gow appeared in 7 games last season for the Maroons. 2 receivers each side for UChicago. 3rd down and 9. Quick drop back, coming off the edge and bringing down Gow. Number 41 for the Cougars, Marquise Overstreet with the tackle. A big-time sack on 3rd down forces a punt from the Maroons.
The front 7, specifically those defensive linemen for the Cougars, those are your veterans of the defense as we see the replay here. Great penetration behind the line by Overstreet. Those juniors and seniors on that D-line, they're really the leaders of this Cougars defense. They're going to have a big game today and help out the rest of the team.
After the sack, it brings up 4th and 16, 12 minutes to play in the opening quarter of the 2022 season. Back to punt is Joshua Park. Little dribbler, Covington with the fair catch. Brings it in at the 41-yard line in Maroons territory. Cougars set up nicely for a team that has a new starting quarterback, Finn Ehlers, who appeared a couple games in the 2021 season, but now is in the starting role to start the 2022 season.
One of the bigger problems with the Cougars offense last year you can maybe look at is that they always kind of had an issue of consistency at quarterback. Ehlers going to look to solve that issue this year. He's getting the start today. Only passed 16 times last year, completed 8 for 50%.
Quick throw down the sideline and caught for a big-time gain. The drop-back pass from Ehlers, and it is brought in on the far side by Dalton Bowler. Cougars move the chains. 1st and goal to go, a big-time pass. That sets up the Cougars nicely. Brings them all the way down deep into the University of Chicago territory. Maroons allowing only 14 points a game to their opponents. It'll be a handoff to DeAndre Daniels, who lowers the shoulder and is brought down near the 5-yard line.
We heard Daniels' name called a lot last year. I'm assuming we're going to hear it called a lot this year. He was the all-star of the offense last year. 2nd team All-MAC, 1,110 yards rushing. He is the workhorse of this offense. As much as they want to get that passing game going, look to Daniels to be the main threat.
2nd and goal for the Cougars. Covington in motion. Ehlers gets cracked in the backfield. A loss of a yard or 2 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and goal.
Cougars and their offense, they really like the rushing quarterback. We saw a lot last year with Troy Prattley. Saw it right there again with Ehlers. See how much they implement it again this year. Maybe they try to get the ball out downfield more as well.
Split backfield for the Cougars. 1 receiver on the far side, 2 near side. Looking left, Ehlers pump fakes, takes it up the middle, and is tackled around the 2-yard line by Will Skoronski.
Those are the kind of rushes I do like to see from the CUC quarterbacks. Ehlers saw that open hole in front of him, decided to take it for a couple yards, keep the chains moving. They want to try and get something here on their first trip to the red zone.
Offense stays out on the field for the Cougars. Maroons trying to make a stand on the CUC opening drive. Covington in motion again. Ehlers, left side, pitches it to Daniels, looking for the pylon and gets tackled at the 5-yard line. The Maroons hold strong and first a turnover, a big-time tackle. made by number 24, Braden Junker.
Junker was there. Aiden Capolino, number 48, linebacker. He was there as well. Great recognition from the Maroon defense. Picked up on that pass, picked up on that little shovel to Daniels and got over there really quick.
So now if you're the Maroons, you're deep in your territory, but momentum has to feel good after your defense and the first drive they face of the season puts up a strong stand, as now they will be in their own territory. Ball on the 5-yard line. Gow with a handoff to D'Ambrose. Picks up a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 for University of Chicago.
We didn't see much of D'Ambrose on that first drive. Luck to him to get a lot of touches coming up. Again, first-team All-American last year. Led D3 in yards per game at 171.4. The dude's an absolute beast in the backfield and most likely going to be the driving force for the Maroons.
2nd and 7. Another handoff. A good tackle at the line of scrimmage by number 91, Martin Egbo from Williamsburg, Virginia. Third down and 5 on the play. Three receivers far side, one near side. D'Ambrose in the backfield. Gow drop backs, looks left, fires it over, and goes through the hands of his receiver, Michael Janis. So Cougars defense forcing a 3-and-out. 8:10 left in the first quarter here in River Forest. Peter, after last year where the Cougars struggled in conference play when they played teams like Aurora, Benedictine, having two nice stops here to start off against the University of Chicago shows the training that's went into this game from the preseason camp.
Yeah, Chicago, they're a quality team just like those conference opponents you just mentioned, Carter. If the Cougars can match up well with the Maroon, that bodes well for those games against those big-time conference opponents.
Noah Buddha sends one over the head of Covington, who picks it up near the 35. Goes up the middle and is brought down by number 24, Braden Junker. Cougars will have the ball to start in their own 40-yard line.
Nice hang time on that punt to just seem to keep on going back and back. Covington misplayed it a little. It was over his head. I'm sure special teams coordinator Sevi Lubro will have something to say, but Covington, make sure that doesn't happen next time.
First and 10 for the Cougars, second drive. Receiver in motion. Ehlers at the handoff to Daniels, lowers the shoulder, picks up 2 yards. Chugs his way to the 42.
I mentioned the seniority on the Cougars defensive line. Same thing for the Maroon. Junior Arthur Long, senior Roman Lewis, and junior Karush Hasibi. It's an experienced D-line that's very good at stopping the rush. Daniels and the Cougars are going to have a hard time getting past them today.
Ehlers rolling left, floats one over the head of Daniels. But coming in to clean up the work in the backfield was number 90, Kurosh Hasibi.
A lot of youth on the Cougars offensive line. Of the 5 of them, there's only one upperclassman. That's Amir Kavik at center. So those young guys, they got a tall task ahead of him, stopping that lethal Maroon defense.
3rd and 8 for the Cougars. Couple late changes for CUC. Bunch formation near side. Ehlers drop back, little screen. Daniels gets it, tries to get away, but is held down by number 48, Aiden Capiano. It'll be a 3-and-out for CUC and brings on the punt team.
Credit the defenses here, Carter. Both offenses struggling to get anything going. Both QBs aren't seeing much options downfield, and the running backs are getting stuffed right around the line of scrimmage. So the two defenses, they came to play today. Offenses, they're still trying to figure things out.
Ryan R. back to punt for the Cougars. Not well struck. Takes his first bounce and rolls back towards midfield. It is touchdown by number 22, Cleveland Tucker, but not a big punt at all from R, and it sets up the Maroons nicely for their third drive.
That bounce didn't help the Cougars either. So Maroons, they get a good chance here, try and get something going. I'm interested to see if they're going to try and keep getting that passing game going. Are they going to let D'Ambrose get some more touches finally? Got a lot of weapons on that offense. Just this decision of who to go with right now.
D'Ambrose, fifth all-time in rushing and school history for the University of Chicago. Pull back from Gow, rolling right. Delivers a strike as it pops out of the hand of the receiver, Luke Degner. Nice hit on the play from number 8, Brendan Baugh.
Baugh is someone I'm really excited to see this year, Carter. He was only a sophomore, but 50 total tackles last year. 36 of those were solos, 3 tackles for loss, 4 passes broken up, and 2 interceptions. He's a beast in the secondary and one of the linchpins of the Cougars defense.
They'll need it today, and they'll need Baugh to perform against a team that has a high offensive productivity from last season, as Gow takes a scamper of his own. A gain of about 13 moves the chains. First down for the University of Chicago.
Still waiting to see Gow's arm come alive, but his legs have looked good so far today. He's had a couple rushes. Gets the first down there for U Chicago. Something Cougars got to be mindful of now moving forward.
2 receivers to the right side. Hand off to D'Ambrose. Couple side steps and it's brought down near the 43-yard line. Nice pickup of 4. Sets up 2nd and 6.
D'Ambrose isn't that big a player, 5'9", 185, but as we saw there, he's very shifty, good on his feet. Looks like the Cougars defense is just trying to converge everyone on him, give him nowhere to go. So far, it's working today.
2nd and 6, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the far side. Gow looks left, has time, avoids, and now is brought down in the backfield by number 91, Martin Egbo. Big time sack from the defensive lineman from Williamsburg, Virginia.
Cougars defense, as we see the replay here. Good tackle there, way to stay with them. This guy almost stayed on his feet. But Cougars defense are not only playing well, they're doing things very timely, getting big sacks just when they need it, force that offense back.
3rd and 19 for U Chicago. Gow with a draw, avoids a tackle, and now is brought down after the cleanup from Cleveland Tucker. Cougars defense looking strong, matching the intensity from the Maroons defense. Neither offense has been able to get anything going so far in this game.
No, there's just nothing moving for either offense. Passing game isn't going. Neither quarterback looks too sharp right now. The running game's going nowhere. Credit both teams' front 7 and defensive line at stopping that running game. You got to wonder, what are these two teams, what are they going to switch up offensively to try and figure things out?
Noah Buddha back to punt again for U Chicago. Covington back, has his toes lined up on the 10-yard line. Now a whistle, and a flag is thrown. Delay of game will move back the Maroons just a couple yards. But again, that strong play on defense from Martin Egbo on 2nd down, set up the 3rd and long. Really taking the wind out of the sails of U Chicago on that last drive. A nice rush from the Cougars, almost got to Buddha. Nice spiraling punt. Covington catches it at the 9, or should I say the 14-yard line. Cougars will have their next possession deep in their own territory. And here you have to be cautious, whereas for the Cougars, they've been trying to run the ball as well. But again, going back to the first play of the game for CUC, a nice completion from Finn Ehlers down to Dalton Bowler, on the far side. They've kind of really haven't been able to establish that pass game as you were talking about, Peter.
I've said it a lot last year, and it's something I'm kind of interested to see how that unfolds this year. Is I want the Cougars to take more shots downfield. That'll open that short-range game up as well they like so much. It worked really well on the first play, like you mentioned, Carter.
Daniels with a run. Gets brought down out of bounds. Only a pickup of 4. It'll set up 2nd and 6 for the Cougars. 3:35 remaining in the opening quarter.
Will Skaronski on that pickup on Daniels there. First team All-Midwest Conference last year. 98 total tackles, 2 sacks. There's some good players on this U Chicago defense.
I think in this game, Peter, it's going to be who can strike first, who can get the early momentum in this game. And it's been very much a 3-and-out kind of day for both offenses as another handoff. As Daniels gets stuffed at the 20-yard line for a gain of 2.
And as weird as it may sound, this could really come down to the punting units as well, who can bury each other deeper in their own end, hopefully get in field goal range. Because like you said, Carter, these offenses are just going nowhere, so those kickers might come in handy. So that's why that last punt from U Chicago is so good, really pinned the Cougars back. U Chicago gets the ball back in good range. They get just a couple completions. They could get in field goal range, strike first.
3rd and 4 for the Cougars. Ehlers looking for a quick pass, but nobody home. The intended target was Jordan White on an out route. That was way out of the vicinity of the freshman tight end, so the punt team will come back on the field for the Cougars with 2:19 remaining in the first quarter.
Just mentioned, I'd like the Cougars to take a couple more shots downfield. It's kind of hard to do that. The offensive line for the Cougars, they aren't giving their quarterback much protection. We've seen Ehlers has to get rid of that thing quick so far today. That front 5 for the Cougars, they can give him a little more protection. They might be able to go downfield.
Aiden Nava fields it on a hop, goes up the middle, and gets tackled by number 45, Jelani Warner. The Maroons will start their drive in Cougar territory at the 40-yard line. 2:11 remaining in the first quarter. Thank you for tuning in to the broadcast today. If you'd like to stay tuned for more CUC Athletics broadcasts, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also become a member and live chat during the game. And if you feel so inclined, make a donation to CUCougars.com to help improve the broadcast that you're seeing right now. CUCougars.com bringing everything CUC Athletics to you and every game live streamed in River Forest. Gow with time, drops back, has a receiver, and caught for a touchdown. Luke Degner, a 40-yard touchdown for the Maroons. They get on the board on the first play of the drive. And that was the big play we were waiting for out of the passing game. Maroons strike first. But a penalty called, and it will bring back the touchdown. A holding penalty on the play negates the touchdown. So Cougars catch a break, but again, a defensive lapse on the Cougars side as there was a receiver streaking down towards the middle of the field. Luke Degner gets pulled back now, so the ball will move to the 50-yard line.
Even though it got pulled back, you think U Chicago is probably kind of happy with that. They saw something finally go their way, even if there was the penalty. I wouldn't be surprised they looked that way a couple more times now that they know it can work as long as it's clean.
1st and 20, D'Ambrose with a run. Spins around and avoids a tackle, keeps the legs moving. Gets a nice gain on the play to cut back on some of the yardage that was lost because of the holding penalty. Ball will now sit at the 48-yard line, or should I say the 43. D'Ambrose on the run again, Cuts it back up the middle, has room, and he's heading to the end zone and dives in for the touchdown. Nicholas D'Ambrose, a 43-yard rushing touchdown. Cougars surrender the first score of the game. Maroons up 6-0.
You mentioned waiting a couple seconds ago in regards to that. What we thought was a touchdown pass, you could also say that right now. We're waiting for D'Ambrose to get going. He had 20 touchdowns in 10 games last year, averaging 2 a game. Cougars, they did a good job containing him up until this past drive. Last thing they want to see is him get going, getting hot.
Will Goodman on to attempt the extra point. Goes through the uprights. Maroons now up 7-0 with 1:32 remaining in the first quarter. 43-yard rush from D'Ambrose puts the Maroons on the board. We'll take a look back at the rush, but Peter, it was a nice sidestep back up to the middle and then just ran away.
I mentioned it previously. D'Ambrose, he's great on his feet, sidestepping that defense, spinning around defenders, and he's got such a quick acceleration. Once he sees that open field, he's as good as gone, as we saw there. Just such a tough player to stop. But Carter, this upcoming drive for the Cougars offense might be the most important one of the day. UChicago, they think they got things figured out. Now it's going to be on the Cougars to show that their offense has something too.
Well, the Cougars were able to get 36 yards on their first drive after the reception that was brought in by Dalton Bowler.
A lot of that was on that one reception.
And ever since then, it was 2 punts after turning it over on downs. Cougars with 48 yards of offense so far in this game. Maroons with 66.
Well, Cougars finished last year 8th in the NAC conference in yards per game, 320.5. The only team behind them was Eureka. Something they definitely want to try and improve upon this year. Again, I mentioned it. Their defense is good. It's a great defensive unit. Their offense has to give them a little support now.
So after the touchback, the Cougars will make another trek back out onto the field. It'll be their 4th drive of the game. And as you mentioned, Peter, they need to get something going offensively, because if it wasn't for that first play, the Cougars really don't have any offense right now. Especially against the UChicago team that puts up a lot of points. You need to match what's on the scoreboard in terms of what UChicago does if the Cougars want to keep it a close game.
I said it in the pregame show. This is not a team you want to get into a shootout with. You have to stay up with them. You don't want to fall behind too much.
Ehlers slides down at the 29-yard line. Tackle was made by number 22, Rice Bormerito Logan. So it'll set up 2nd and 6 for the Cougars. As the seconds tick away, lead down to a minute remaining in the first quarter. 2 backs in the backfield for the Cougars, a receiver on each side. Coming in motion is Bowler. Daniels with a stiff arm, sidesteps a man, and was able to fall down. Gets all the way to the 34-yard line. Gerald Crawford on the run instead. So Gerald Crawford on the run, getting some carries here as Daniels comes out just for a breather.
Well, the rush game was the Cougars' strength last year. 4th in the conference, 174 yards a game. They got to get that going here. That was their bread and butter last year. See if they can get it back now.
3rd and 1.
Got to get something.
Ehlers wants to run a play.
They got to get something off here.
3 seconds, 2, 1. And now a flag thrown with 0.2 seconds on the scoreboard. So the Cougars trying to wind it down to the end of the quarter will instead get penalized. It'll be delay a game called, move the ball back 5 yards. And now as the clock winds down officially to the end of the first quarter, Cougars could have had 3rd and 1. Now look at 3rd and 6.
Well, if you recall back to last year, Carter, clock management was a bit of an issue for the Cougars. That's where a lot of their penalty yards came from. That was just bad clock management there. Confusion on where the game clock was and where the time left in the quarter was. Something they got to clean up if they want to make any progress this year.
First quarter over with 7-0 U Chicago. A 43-yard run from Nicholas D'Ambrose, the only score of the game. Carter Gledhill, Peter Borkowski with you on the broadcast today from CUCougars.com. Stick around. Second quarter football in River Forest returns when we come back from a break. It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Cougars to start off the second quarter. Ehlers rolls right, and the ball is dropped. Bounces out of the hand of Dalton Bowler. It'll be 4th down for the Cougars. Brings out the punt team yet again for CUC. That's now 3 consecutive drives that have resulted in a punt for the Cougars.
It's kind of a tough situation for Ehlers back at under center for the Cougars. On one hand, you want to get him some confidence with those short passes, but you also want to go downfield and attack the U Chicago defense. He's missed a couple open passes, so maybe just a little confidence is needed.
Making a run down the far side is Aiden Nava. He's brought down at the 45-yard line. As the Cougars defense heads back out onto the field. And besides the last drive for U Chicago, 3 straight punts forced by the Cougars defense. So just that one play, and granted there was also the holding call that negated a passing touchdown for U Chicago. But again, it was the stronghold from the CUC defense that really only lapsed in one play.
I'm excited to see, or I'm interested to see what the offense does on this drive. Did they figure things out, or is that just kind of a lucky break with D'Ambrose?
Gao keeps it himself. He'll be close to the first down marker. He'll be a yard short. Comes down at the 46-yard line as he crosses into CUC territory.
Well, big drive here for the Cougars defense. Try to kill any momentum that U Chicago might have after that last drive.
Trying to get over the line of scrimmage was Kyle James. He was able to just get back. Keeps it at 3rd and 1. Maroons 0 for 3 so far in this game on 3rd down opportunities.
A bit unusual for them. Last season, not only did they lead the Midwest Conference in 3rd down conversion, they were the only team above 50% at a clip of 56.7% conversion rate.
Ball dropped in the backfield. Luckily, D'Ambrose was able to hop on it near the Cougar head. But it looked like Gao just let the ball slip through his fingers. So a costly 3rd down. Ball is now placed at the 50-yard line. Brings up 4th and 5, and the punt team will come out yet again for U Chicago. A good stand from the Cougars defense, forcing another 3 and out.
Say what you will about the Cougars offense. This defense has looked spectacular, Carter. U Chicago, they scored an average of 48 points a game last season. Now they're struggling to get something going against this Cougars defense. They're really keeping CUC in the game right now.
Covington comes up to make the fair catch at the 18-yard line. Cougars offense back out onto the field. 13:01 left in the second quarter. And if we look back at third downs, Peter, we'll go back to that last miscue by UChicago. Neither team has converted a third down opportunity so far in this game. And first game of the season, both teams trying to work out the kinks a little bit offensively.
And last season, they were kind of on the opposite ends of the spectrum third down-wise. I just mentioned UChicago led the MWC 56.7. The Cougars, meanwhile, they were 7th in the NAC, 41.94%. But they're both in the same boat right now.
Daniels with a run that picks up a yard or two. Brings up 2nd and 8.
We saw D'Ambrose get his break on that touchdown run. Still waiting to see Daniels break out here. 5 attempts, 415 yards. He's really struggling to get past this front line from UChicago.
Hasibi, Lewis, and Long have been posing challenges for Daniels so far in this game. Little change of play for Gerald Crawford, who is in for Daniels. Gets the handoff and scampers to the far side out of bounds. It'll now bring up 3rd down and 8. No gain on the play. Cougars with only 59 yards of offense so far in the game. Ehlers 3 for 6 through the air with 32 yards. Crawford goes in motion. Handoff to Daniels. Somersaults his way near the first down marker. It'll be enough to move the chains. A nice run from DeAndre Daniels. First time in the game that either team has converted on 3rd down.
Well, maybe that'll give the Cougars a little boost here. Still got a long way to go towards the red zone, but finally getting a 3rd down conversion when they've struggled with them not only today but past season, as I mentioned. And that's just a confidence builder right there. See what they can do now.
1st and 10 on the 29-yard line. Ehlers to the right. Looks downfield and it'll drop it off short, but it bounces off the fingers of Delvin Bledsoe.
Just out of the reach of the sophomore from St. Charles, Missouri right there. Ehlers doesn't look as sharp when he's rolling out as he does in the pocket. But again, he's not getting much protection from his offensive line right now, partially due to how good UChicago's front line is defensively.
2nd and 10, 11:08 to go in the second quarter. Maroons were able to score through the rush with D'Ambrose, and now a screen for Jordan White. Picks up a nice gain. And now time will be called as the chains will move. A nice screen dropped off to Jordan White. Cougars look to be picking up some momentum here in the second quarter offensively.
White's a weapon I'd like to see the Cougars use. Big body, 6'1", 210 freshman. They didn't use their tight ends a lot last year, but in terms of that middle game, you get a big target like that, you can go above the rim from those defenders. Could be a good option here for the Cougars.
Ehlers keeps it. It gets brought down at the 47-yard line. Near on the tackle was Braden Junker. Bring up 2nd and 1 for the Cougars.
So much of the Cougars' offense last year was dependent on good rushes by their quarterbacks. We haven't seen it a lot from Ehlers yet today. He had a nice one there. It's another just piece of the puzzle of getting this offense to click, is if that quarterback can get mobile and get upfield when he needs to.
7th play of the drive. Bowler in motion again. Ehlers keeps it. Gets tripped up in the backfield. He'll lose 2 yards on the play. In the backfield, Arthur Long for UChicago.
See if they bring out the punt unit. It doesn't look like it. You're kind of in that, no, third down, excuse me. You're in that no man's land area. See what they can do here.
2 receivers to the far side. Bowler comes in motion again. Handoff to Daniels. Finds a lane, gets down the sideline, 1 man to beat. He does. DeAndre Daniels, a big-time run. Cougars get on the board. A 46-yard rush from DeAndre Daniels. First touchdown of the game for the Cougars.
Well, let's see if we get a replay coming up here, but same thing we saw with D'Ambrose not too long ago. Daniels finally able to break one out. He turns the corner. And again, he's one of those players, once he's got open field in front of him, it's so hard to catch him. Not only is he a physical player with yards after contact, but he's so fast too. Once he saw that open field in front of him, he was good as gone.
Point after attempt is good. Cougars able to tie the game up, 19 remaining in the second quarter. Well, let's look at the 54-yard rush from DeAndre Daniels. Again, it wasn't really anything special but that breakaway speed that DeAndre Daniels has after making the first man miss as the Cougars tie the game up.
And something else that made him so good last year is his ability to read the holes in the line and then use that explosive speed to shoot through them. We saw it there. All he needs is a little bit of space. He's able to shoot right through, get upfield. And once, like you said, Carter, he's got that kind of speed. Once he's in the open field, he's as good as gone.
Last time these two teams met was in 2014. The Maroons won that game by a score of 38-0. They also hold the all-time series record of 12-5 over the Cougars.
Yeah, last time Cougars, they were able to take down UC. That was back in 2012, almost 10 years ago. That was on September 9th. Traveled to University of Chicago, beat them by 1, 27-26. Be a nice way to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of that win against University of Chicago, is picking up another one.
As the Cougar kickoff team is ready to go, Oyer drops one that bounces away from number 25, Kyle James. Able to make a man miss. Still on his feet before being brought down at the 32-yard line by number 26, B.J. Pitts. Didn't start off great, but again, the recovery, and now finds himself with a little bit more breathing room as the Maroons set up shop at the 32 with 9:09 remaining in the first half.
We've seen that a couple times from James today. You know, I'm most notably on the first kickoff of the day. You know, he struggles with reeling it in, but once he gets that in his ball in his possession, he's really dangerous against that special teams unit the CUC sending out. I don't think he's trying to drop it on purpose, but it's been working out for him so far.
A quick screen over to Aiden Nava. Has room. Tries to stiff arm the defender. Cleveland Tucker able to bring down Nava. After the screen picks up a good chunk of yardage for U Chicago. Ball is dropped at the 42-yard line. The Maroons are already on the ball, ready to go.
Good speed there by Nava. Good speed by the offense, too. They're already on the ball, like you said, Carter. And we get a slight break here, as it looks like they're trying to get the call figured out.
26-yard pickup for Nava. Gal makes another check. 2 receivers each side for U Chicago. D'Ambrose in the backfield. Gao, pump fakes, rolls left, drops it up. Catch by Nava. Another big chunk picked up from the sophomore from Austin, Texas. Moves the chain again for the Maroons.
Nava mainly played defense last year, actually. Made second team All-Midwest Conference because of it. Though we're seeing why he might have been converted to WR right now. He's got impressive speed. He's got good hands. He's Gao's go-to man right now.
Third reception of the game for Nava. First and 10 on the 28. Handoff to D'Ambrose. Keeps the feet moving. Pickup of about 2. Cougars defense trying to stall the Maroons just a little bit longer on offense.
They're doing a good job of it, especially in regards to D'Ambrose. You take that 43 touchdown yard run away. He's only gone 7 attempts for 11 yards. So besides that one break in the defense, Cougars are looking strong.
Gao drops it off to Aiden Mandel. Makes a couple moves and dives inside of the 10. Another big passing play for the Maroons on the drive. Now sets up 1st and goal for UChicago.
We're starting to see Gao kind of get his feet under him now. He's very mobile. He's hard to bring down, especially as of recently. Might have been early game jitters previously. Again, he only played in 9 games coming into today throughout his career.
18-yard pickup for Mandel. Gao hands it off to D'Ambrose, who cuts it back. Thomas almost had him, but then the final tackle laid down by Justin Aduo brings up 2nd and goal.
Good job there by Thomas. Didn't get the tackle, but he slowed D'Ambrose enough so his teammates can finish the job. That's what you're going to need to see. Get past the line early, get to D'Ambrose before he has time to really break off. Use that electrifying speed he's got.
58 passing yards so far on the drive for the Maroons. Will they go to the air again? 2nd and goal. They'll keep it on the ground and into the end zone. Kyle James for the score. UChicago picks up their 2nd rushing touchdown of the game on a 6-yard rush from Kyle James.
We haven't talked about him yet. Now is maybe a good time. That offensive line for UChicago, a very strong unit. Brandon Schillig, he's playing on the left side. He was 1st team all MWC last year. So was the left guard, DJ Jellin. He was 2nd team, all MWC. So they're really helping out their running backs, as we saw there with James. Basically walked into the end zone.
Goodman lines one off of the left post, but it bounces through the uprights. 14-7, UChicago with 6:19 remaining. Take a look back at the touchdown run from Kyle James. Puts a capper on a drive of 6 plays, 68 yards, 2 minutes and 14 seconds time of possession. Well, look at the difference between passing and rushing. 3 rushes, 3 passes, but 58 yards through the air on that last drive for the Maroons, and 10 on the ground as well for UChicago. Just shows the versatility of this offense.
Well, with Todd Gilchrist Jr. coming in to be head coach of UChicago, I mentioned it at the top, pass coordinator and WR coach from College of the Holy Cross. University of Chicago wasn't a huge passing team last year. They were still good, but they relied mostly on D'Ambrose and their rushing game. So Gilchrist Jr. coming from that passing background might be trying to change things up a little bit, take some of the pressure off of their stud running back.
Both teams over 100 yards of offense. In fact, the same amount of offense in this game for each team, 139 yards for the Maroons and the Cougars, as Goodman makes a quick adjustment on the ball in the tee. As we get ready for the kickoff to resume play, 6:19 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Goodman lines one that hits in the end zone for a touchback. Cougars on their last drive, able to punch it in courtesy of DeAndre Daniels on a big-time rush. Cougars now with a chance, knowing this team and how run-focused they are, they have a chance to take some time off of the clock. They'll start on their own 25 after the touchback. But Peter, right here, if you are looking for a good drive from Andrew Lambert, the head coach from the Cougars, this is where you need to have it right here. As we'll start off with a quarterback keeper from Ehlers as he's brought down near the 32-yard line, and now a Maroons defender is down on the turf. The training staff will come out. Down on the turf for the Maroons is Arthur Long. So both teams head back to their own sidelines. Fans, again, if you want to be notified of anything CUC Athletics in terms of live streams, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, CUC Athletics. And also become a member to participate in live chats throughout the year, as well as make a donation to CUCougars.com to help improve the live streams that we put on here in River Forest. Arthur Long able to get up under his own power, walks back over to UChicago's sideline. Ehlers with a 7-yard rush will bring up 2nd and 3 on the 32-yard line for the Cougars. Two receivers each side. UChicago in the nickel defense. Covington comes in motion. Quick screen out to Covington. Nice tackle made by number 40. Will Skoronski, the junior from Glen Ellen, Illinois. Cougars able to pick up a first down on the play. Gain of 4 brings it out a little bit further for the Cougars. Ball is now dropped at the 36-yard line. 5:10 remaining in the second quarter. Split backfield for the Cougars. Bowler in motion to the left side. Hand off to Gerald Crawford. Brought down for a short gain of 1. And now another defender for UChicago down. Leo Spidell limping off the field. 2nd and 9 for the Cougars.
And going back to that Crawford run, a lot of sideline to sideline action for the Cougars offense, especially in the running game. But UChicago, they got the speed in their defense to keep up with that kind of movement. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Cougars might want to think about going downfield more so. They're just not able to turn the corner around these speedy UChicago defenders.
Cougars offense has been out on the field for 15 minutes so far in this game. The Maroons only 3 minutes and 12 minutes and 13 seconds. It's a part of the game right now for the Cougars. They are owning the time of possession spot, almost doubling that of the Maroons, but as a timeout is called by Andy Lambert. First timeout taken by either team so far in this game. 4:15 remaining, as I should say, in the second quarter here in River Forest. Maroons up 14-7 over the Cougars. Carter Gledhill, Peter Borkowski with you on CUCougars.com. Peter, right now for the Cougars, are really relying on the big play. If it wasn't for the DeAndre Daniels big-time rush, now 54 yards on the scoring drive. There's been an offense that has been out on the field so far for 24 minutes and really has been kind of disjointed. But again, they're making progress on UChicago defensive side as they keep finding ways to just chip away at the defense.
CUC, they had a lot of time of possession last year. I believe they led the NAC conference in that stat, but defenses, they adopt a bend, don't break approach against Concordia. So like you said, Carter, they're always chipping away, always picking up some yards, but they're never able to really find that big finishing play to punch it in the end zone.
Another rush to Crawford. Spins around, and he gets pulled down at the 42-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Cougars. Cougars 2 for 6 so far in the game and third down conversions. Two receivers far side and near side for the Cougars. Daniels in motion. Quick screen out to Daniels and runs over a defender, but a tackle from Braden Junker. We've said his name quite a few times so far in this game, Peter. He's been really filling all of the holes coming down from the secondary for Chicago. And it brings up 4th and 1 for the Cougars as they get on the ball quickly. Quarterback sneak, a push at the line. We'll wait for the official spot. The far judge says that it is enough, so first down for the Cougars. The player is down on the field. And now getting up is DeAndre Daniels. A little slow to get up off of the turf, but the ball placed at the 47-yard line for the Cougars. 2:52 remaining in the half.
We saw Daniels a little slow to get up there. Looks like he's still dealing. Oh, he's back on the turf now. So we're going to have to take a second to get the training staff out here. But I think that's really going to speak to the importance of Gerald Crawford this year. Daniels saw a lot of work last season. If Crawford can lighten that load a little bit, hopefully we avoid what we might be seeing right now.
Well, DeAndre Daniels, over 1,000 rushing yards last season for the Cougars, is down on the turf being attended to by the training staff. Would be a big blow to this offense for CUC to not have him, depending on how he feels with this injury. Looks like he got twisted up on the play. Again, it was a quarterback keeper for Finn Ehlers, but everybody getting caught up in the backfield as there was that push from the offensive line. Everybody getting tangled on the quarterback sneak. And gets up and he's hobbling off the field. He's able to do so under his own power.
Well, you like to see that. Hopefully we could see him back in the game, or at the very least, it's nothing long term. Again, Daniels, 167 rushing attempts last season for CUC. That's hitting a lot of defenders, especially when you're as a physical a guy as Daniels is. You don't want to see him too beat up. Again, he is the driving force of this offense when he's on his game.
Flag is thrown. Ball is batted away by number 90, Karush Hasibi. But it looked like there was an illegal formation on the Cougars' side. Andy Lambert making an argument. But an illegal shift was called, the exact call. Penalty declined. 2nd and 10 for the Cougars, 2:32 remaining in the half.
Well, hopefully this isn't a sign of things to come for the Cougars offense. They've been very clean up until right now. They had that delay of game to end the first quarter, maybe some miscommunication on how much time was left on each respective clock. But this was a team that really struggled to get that play calling down last season. They can clean that up. That's going to be a good sign of things to come for the upcoming season.
In the backfield is Michael Bates, one of the other quarterbacks on the roster for the Cougars. Actually, the handoff is brought down. Blake Henson on the carry for the Cougars. Brought down after a 3-yard rush.
See Crawford making his way back to the field. He was taking a seat for a second next to Daniels with the trainers, but it looks like he'll be back on the field once we're back from this timeout break.
Timeout called by the Maroons, 2:31 remaining. As Peter mentioned, Daniels looks to be all right. Still being attended to by the training staff. 8 plays so far for the Cougars, 25 yards on the drive. It's been primarily a rushing drive so far for the Cougars.
They were trying to establish the passing game earlier in the game, and it just wasn't going anywhere. So I've said it a couple times, the rushing game, that was really their strength last season offensively. Maybe trying to see if they could get that passing game going earlier today. They saw that wasn't really working out against this UChicago defense, so they're going back to what they did best last year, which was running it out on the ground, pounding some yards out.
So a good sign for the Cougars. DeAndre Daniels comes back out onto the field. Puts back on the helmet, so will come in to replace Gerald Crawford. Third and 7, ball at the 50-yard line for the Cougars. Ehlers drops back, flings it out to Daniels. Couple cuts, makes a dive for the chains. It'll be enough, a quick get back for DeAndre Daniels after being attended to by the training staff. Picks up a nice 7 yards on the reception and moves the chains for the Cougars.
You want to talk about toughness from a player. Probably 2 minutes ago, we saw him sitting on the training table getting looked at. You see he still looks really tired. He's got his hands on his knees right now, but then he comes out. He's able to snag a ball that was a little out of his reach and then dive for a crucial first down. Just speaks to the testament of will of the senior running back for CUC.
Under 2 minutes to play in the half. Both Crawford and Daniels on the field. And now timeout is called by the Cougars. It'll be the second timeout called by CUC. We'll step aside for a few moments. 14-7 UChicago up over the Cougars. 1:52 remaining in the first half. From football from River Forest on CUCougars.com. First and 10 for the Cougars. A fresh set of downs after the reception from DeAndre Daniels. Ehlers lofts one in the air, intended for Christian Covington. Covington was cutting back towards the middle of the field. Incomplete pass. Second and 10, 1:48 remaining.
One of the main things I wanted to see from the CUC offense this year was targeting Covington going downfield. Covington 6'2", 206 pounds. He's a big receiving target. He's a senior, so he knows what he's doing. Only had 245 receiving yards, last season. He could be a big target moving down the field. They just got to look at him a couple more times.
Ehlers 7 for 13 so far in the game. Covington in motion. Handoff to Daniels. Lunges his way to the 36-yard line. Brings up 3rd and 4 for the Cougars. Minute 22 remaining in the half. A drive that started with 6:19 on the game clock. Cougars getting ready to run their 12th play of the drive.
And they're using every down they got. 8 third down attempts now. They've converted on 3 of them. Big one here.
Ehlers with the keeper. Has enough for the first down. Pickup of about 5. Clock will stop as the chains move. 56 seconds remaining.
Well, people will say sometimes the best defense is to keep the other offense off the field. Cougars doing a really good job of that, especially time of possession.
Quick screen out to Covington. Good tackle made by number 24, Braden Junker. He's been flying around on the field for the Maroons defense. his 6th tackle of the game. 25 seconds remaining in the game, or the half, I should say, for the Cougars. Ehlers, a shot to the end zone, has a man, but over the head of number 3, Delvin Bledsoe. Had his man in one-on-one coverage. Ehlers couldn't drop it in.
You said it, Carter. Great separation there from Bledsoe. Ehlers, he's been scrambling a lot today. You like to think if he had his feet set, he might have gotten that one to drop in. So Cougars got a long way to go on 3rd down here.
3rd and 12 for the Cougars. It'd be a long field goal attempt for Ryan Auer if the Cougars were to go for the field goal. Ehlers with a shot over to the right side. Covington knocked out of bounds. Cuts down on some of that 3rd down yardage. Brings it within a yard of the 1st down marker.
Auer's got his helmet on the sideline. See what they decide to go for here.
Now a stoppage in play. Michael Cunningham having a conversation with Andy Lambert. So some added time on the clock in favor of the Cougars. 16 seconds remaining in the half. Rush to the right side and brought down. 4th down for the Cougars. Decision time for Andy Lambert. Field goal team is making its way out onto the field. There was a turnover on downs instead, excuse me.
So I don't totally dislike the decision to go for it. Yes, 3 points is 3 points, but you will get the kickoff at second half. And, when you have an offense as good as Chicago coming to town, you got to be risky. You got to try and keep up with them. 4th and short situation there. I'm not opposed to going for it like they did.
So Chicago will take a knee to end the 1st half. The Cougars had a chance, but failed to convert. DeAndre Daniels tackled by Will Skoronski to turn the ball over on downs. Both teams will head into the locker room after a 1st half that saw some big plays and some early struggles for both offenses, but it'll become a defensive ball game in the 2nd half. 14-7. University of Chicago up over Concordia University Chicago in River Forest. 20-minute halftime break when we return. 2nd half football in River Forest on CUCougars.com.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
Welcome back to River Forest as we get ready for the second half between the University of Chicago Maroons and Concordia University Chicago Cougar football. On a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Concordia Stadium, Carter Gledhill, Peter Borkowski with you on the call from CUCougars.com. Peter, it was a half for the Cougars that had its ups and downs, but they were able to get something rolling towards the end of the first half, but then a critical turnover on downs after a 4th and 1 rush that saw no gain, turned the ball over, and then the Maroons were able to kneel it in going into the half.
Cougars offense did a good job of moving the chains all day. They've taken a lot of downs up, 10 third down attempts. They converted on 4 of those. So they're doing a good job staying on the field, moving down the field. They just really got to work on punching it into the end zone. That's something they struggled with last year, Carter. 9th in the conference in red zone touchdown percentage. Something they really want to work on this year is executing and finishing on drives.
The Cougars won the opening coin toss and deferred to the second half, so they will receive the ball to start the third quarter. Will Goodman ready to kick it away for the Maroons. Watching it fly into the end zone. Ederian Skies watches it hit the back of the end zone for a touchback, so ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Peter, what's the one thing that the Cougars need to change offensively so far here to start the second half? Because they're doing well in terms of the box score, 192 total yards of offense compared to U Chicago's 137, but the scoreboard says otherwise.
They need to find those big plays, something that really moves the team down in a hurry. A lot of defenses, they can keep up with you if you're just chipping away at them and then make a stand when they need to. Cougars, if they get that one big pass, that one big run from Daniels like we saw ended in a touchdown, this offense could end up putting up some points.
Well, Cougars were able to catch the Maroons' defense out of sorts as Finn Ehlers takes the rush himself. A nice gain for the Cougars to start the second half. A gain of 5 on the play. So far in the game, Ehlers 9 for 16 through the air with 66 yards passing. 9 attempts, 32 yards on the ground rushing. Hands it off to Gerald Crawford. Picks up about 3 yards, makes it 3rd and 1 for the Cougars. Cougars hustling to get back on the ball. Four for 10 in the first half, and now a Maroon defender jumped across the line. Looked to be Arthur Long that made contact with a lineman. So a penalty on the Maroons gives the Cougars a fresh set of downs. The old hard count from the Cougars, Peter, able to give them a new set of downs and basically keep the offense moving in terms of the right direction momentum-wise. As Ehlers takes a run, lowers the shoulder, and is dropped at the 45-yard line.
Well, talking about that penalty, this is where you got to take advantage of. When good teams make mistakes, you got to pounce on them because, it's so hard to beat them otherwise. So when Chicago, whenever they slip up, which they don't do often, but on penalties like that, you got to take full advantage of it and capitalize on that.
DeAndre Daniels in the backfield. 86 rushing yards in the game so far. Had a big 54-yard touchdown in the second quarter. Stands to the left of Ehlers. Handoff to Bowler. Gets hit out of bounds. Carlos Cardona with the tackle near the Maroons sideline. Brings up 3rd and short for the Cougars.
Cougars have been solid on 3rd down so far. Might only be 4 for 10. It's 40% conversion rate, but they've been picking up the pace. They've been getting the last couple third down conversions. See if they get it here.
Ehlers pulls it away from Daniels, able to just get over the first down marker to move the chains. And to go to your point, Peter, the Cougars have been in control of time of possession so far in this game, but you bring up a very good point about the speed they're playing at right now in the second half, an offense from the set of getting on the ball and getting ready to go.
And again, we saw them try to implement this last year, that, no huddle. They're going to look to the sideline, get the call, and go for it. They struggled getting it off in time a lot last season. They're cleaner with it today.
Hand off to Gerald Crawford, makes a man miss, make two. Scampers across the 30 before being knocked out of bounds. Gerald Crawford. A nice rush for him. Moves the chains to the 28-yard line. Cougars look to be in business in their first drive of the second half.
Crawford could be a revelation for this Cougars offense. He might not be as, purely talented as Daniels, but he's putting up some good numbers in his Cougar debut today. He's taking some of that pressure off of number 21. He could be a nice asset for this offense.
And they give the ball to number 21 on the first down rush. DeAndre Daniels picks up 2 yards. 2nd and 8 for the Cougars. Ball at the 26-yard line.
Crawford, 5'9", 190. He's looked so slippery, just really hard to bring down today. He's quick on his feet, and he's shifty. Does a little bit of it all. He's a nice kind of contrast to Daniels, who's, your big power back. He's going to bowl through you and use his speed.
White in motion. Ehlers, left side. Gets around a defender on the run. Hits his man in stride, lowering the shoulder, and then being brought down out of bounds. Delvin Bledsoe. Another first down for the Cougars, sets up 1st and goal deep in the Maroons territory.
Bledsoe only played in 4 games last year. He's another one of these young players. He's a sophomore, I should have mentioned. Another one of these young players on this Cougars team who Coach Lambert's really trying to get going and start utilizing more after seeing what he had as a freshman. Bledsoe can continue developing, especially at that wideout position, to help this offense develop.
17-yard pickup for Bledsoe, his 2nd reception of the game. Ehlers looks right, tucks it, makes a run, and is hit hard. Brought down near the 4-yard line. A couple of Maroons defenders were in the area. A loud pop of the shoulder pads was hit on Finn Ehlers. But he's not afraid to take the ball, tuck it, and run. Picks up another rush. That is his 12th of the game. Even surpasses DeAndre Daniels' attempted rushes so far in this game.
And it's mostly been on this drive, too. Ehlers really good at just tucking that ball, finding space.
Tosses it to Daniels. One bounced it. Daniels able to get it back and step out of bounds. That could have been very, very dangerous for the Cougars. It was a pitch from Ehlers and just out of reach of Daniels. Luckily, none of the Maroons defenders were able to pick it up off the turf.
Something Ehlers has struggled with a little today is his timing. We've seen it on a lot of short passes. Just isn't able to time it up right, ends up going just out of reach of the intended receiver, and we kind of saw it there on that pitch to Daniels. Good hands by Daniels to pick it up and avert catastrophe, but Ehlers got to be a little cleaner with that.
3-yard loss on the play, 3rd and 7. Daniels gets it. Gets tripped up and upended by number 40, Will Skoronski. So decision time here for Andy Lambert again. Looks like the offense will stay out on the field.
Staying on, you're right. I said it before, when you're playing such a high-powered offense like Chicago, you got to take these risks. You got to try and stay in the game with them. 3 points are nice, but 7's better.
A keeper from Ehlers. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars. Finn Ehlers. Rushing touchdown. 14-13 ball game. Everybody thought they gave it off to DeAndre Daniels, but Finn Ehlers keeps it himself. A nice 4-yard rush for the second score of the game for the Cougars.
Well, 10 rushing attempts on that drive, 50 yards gained on those attempts for the Cougars, mostly coming from Ehlers, as the field goal is good. So, again, Cougars, the ground game was where they really shone last year, especially offensively. They're going back to it now after trying to initiate some more passing earlier in the game, and it's working out for them.
8:27 remaining in the third quarter, and talk about eating up time. That is a big-time possession for the Cougars to start the second half. Go all the way down in that drive after starting on their own 25.
Just under 6.5 minutes doing it.
A 12-play drive capped off by a 4-yard Finn Ehlers touchdown rush. The Cougars defense, who has so far done a very good job of limiting the production of the Maroons offense. I think the biggest thing so far in this game, Peter, is that they've limited the running game for the Maroons. Nicholas D'Ambrose with only 58 rushing yards so far in this game. The preseason All-American has had his trouble with the Cougars defense.
And we'll see this drive, and if you remember all the way back to the last offensive drive from UChicago, I know it was a while ago now, they started to use the passing game more because D'Ambrose just hasn't been going today. See what they do on this upcoming drive.
Nice turn out for the Maroons, and a good kick return all the way down the sideline. Number 25, Kyle James, makes a big-time special teams play. Ball will be marked at the 44-yard line on UChicago's side of the field. That is toes on the 1-yard line, able to find his way down the right side of the field.
Well, and James now 3 kick returns on the day, 132 yards. That's an average of 44 per return. He's doing great in that term of the in that aspect of the game.
First play of the first drive of the second half for the Maroons. A handoff to D'Ambrose. Picks up about 5 yards on the play. Brandon Arredondo in on the tackle for the Cougars. It'll be a gain of 4 exactly, 2nd and 6. Fake handoff. Gao bounces it out, cuts it back in before getting dropped on the other side of the 50 at the Cougars' 46.
On the Cougars' last drive, we saw how much they used Ehlers and his rushing ability, and now UChicago did the same thing with Gao there. He's been good on his feet all day so far. See if they utilize that a bit more, maybe open up the rushing game a little, see if they can get D'Ambrose going as well.
1st and 10 on the 46 for UChicago. 2 receivers right side, 1 to the left. Gao rolls out, able to complete the pass to number 24, Brandon Kang, a junior from Porter Ranch, California. Picks up his first reception of the game. Second and 4. UChicago trying to match the scoring of the Cougars after their opening drive of the second half went 75 yards for a touchdown. Hit on the throw was Gao, incomplete pass, chased down by Trevon Thomas, a big-time play from the linebacker. You mentioned earlier, Peter, has been a big part of why this Cougars defense has done what it's done so far today. He's able to get into the backfield. And a tough hit on Wesley Gao. 3rd and 4 for the Maroons. Bunch formation to the left side. Gow drops back, throws towards his sideline. Pass is caught by Aiden Mandel for a first down. All the attention was on the near side, Peter. One-on-one coverage on the far side. Maroons able to move the chains again.
Mandel, 10 games last year, only 2 receptions for 17 yards. Chicago not really utilizing their tight end game. Today we've seen the lack of that as well. Mandel coming up with the pivotal catch, get a fresh set of downs for his offense.
Ball on CUC's 32-yard line. A quick pass out to Aiden Nava. He gets chased down and is brought down by Brendan Baugh and Cleveland Tucker. Moves the chains yet again for the Maroons.
Nava, he's been Gow's go-to guy. 3 receptions, 40 yards. One long of 26.
Hand off to D'Ambrose. Gets tackled from behind by Brandon Montford. Right now, the Maroons are just chipping away at the Cougars' defense. Another big pickup of 7 yards on the ground for D'Ambrose. 2nd and 3 on the Cougars' 15. Bunch formation again to the near side for the Maroons. Hand off to D'Ambrose. Lunges his way for a first down. Player's helmet came off, so coming off the field for the Cougars is Charles Kirtley, who has to take a play off. It'll be 1st and goal for Chicago. Handoff, drop down at the 1-yard line. D'Ambrose with another pickup of 5 yards for Chicago. And right now, Peter, they're just working down the field efficiently, but they're also working at a fast pace.
Well, answered my question I posed a little bit ago about how's this offense going to look now that they've been off the field so long. And it doesn't look like they're skipping a beat. They're moving down the field efficiently. They're moving down the field fast. They're knocking on the doorstep right now.
D'Ambrose on the ground, into the end zone for a touchdown. D'Ambrose picks up his 2nd rushing touchdown of the game and gives the Maroons the lead again, 20-14 before the point after attempt. Not much the Cougars could do defensively when you hand the ball off to an All-American on the 1-yard line. Goodman's point after attempt is tipped, but goes through the uprights. 21-14 ball game, 4:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Peter looking back at the touchdown rush right up the middle from D'Ambrose. And so far in this game, 14 attempts, 84 yards, and 2 touchdowns, averaging 6 yards per carry. He's really started to pick things up, and I think that second half, or the opening drive of the second half, is really reflective of what kind of a player he is that we didn't really see in the first half.
Of course, D'Ambrose, great player, over 1,700 rushing yards last season. That was 2nd in all of D3. But you got to remember, Carter, of those 84 yards, 43 of them came on that 1 touchdown run. You take that away, it's 13 attempts for 41 yards. So besides that one big break, the Cougars defense has done a remarkable job shutting him down. And even then, 84 yards for D'Ambrose is an off day. So Cougars doing a good job stopping him. Defense definitely keeping the offense in the game right now, but they got to come back with another touchdown. You don't want to give Chicago too big a lead with that offense. It might just be too much to come back from.
Goodman will put the ball on the tee to cap off a 10-play, 56-yard drive for Chicago.
And you kind of see the different philosophies in their offenses there. That drive only took 3 minutes and 42 seconds. The Cougars, their scoring drive took 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So Chicago very efficient, very quick in their offense. The Cougars, they're going to take their time, really work down the field.
Goodman with a line drive kick that bounces at the 1 and is in the end zone. It is picked up. And it is going to be downed inside of the 5 or at the 5-yard line. It was one of those balls that bounced right at the goal line. And the Cougars thought it would have been a touchback, but a tough bounce for CUC. Picking it up on the play for the Cougars was number 48, Adirian Skies. Michael Cunningham coming over the speakers at Concordia Stadium saying it is a touchback, so Cougars catch a break. Ball will be placed at the 25-yard line.
As you said, Carter, nice break there for the Cougars. That looked like it could have been really, really bad for them field position-wise. Instead, they'll get to where they usually start off of with the touchback.
Cougars will come out with 2 receivers on the far side. Tight end Dalton Bowler just off the line to the right side. Hand off to Daniels. Pickup of 2. In on the tackle for the Maroons was number 28, Sterling Sakatisha. Second and 8. Clock is still winding. It's been a quick third quarter for each of these teams. As Peter mentioned, the over 6-minute drive for the Cougars to start the second half, and then the quick just over 3-minute drive for the Maroons. Ehlers rolls right. Will just float it out of bounds. Some players were tripped up near the Cougars sideline.
Looks like that was Covington, and then number 22 for the Maroons, Emil Vlahos. Both of them are back up, seem to be okay. It looks like Vlahos might be heading towards the sideline to catch a breather.
3rd and 8 for the Cougars. Ball placed on the 27-yard line. Ehlers drops back, rolls right, trying to find a man and will just dump it out of bounds. A 3-and-out for the Cougars will bring the punt team on the field. Not the drive the Cougars were looking for. They tried to go through the air in the last 2 plays, but just locked down defense from the Maroons secondary.
As much as I want the Cougars to go through the air and get some of those big passing plays, you know, that's just not what has been working today. It's been that rushing game. Ehlers has been good. Daniels has seemed to have found his pace, and Gerald Crawford's also been really productive. So next time Cougars get the ball, it's probably what they're going to go back to, or at least that's what they should go back to.
Punt fielded by Aiden Nava. Far side, now steps out of bounds. Able to cross the 50 and make his way into Cougars territory. Ball be placed near the 42-yard line.
You got to give some credit to Chicago's returners. Nava with the punt returns, 3 for 60, so he's averaging 20 a return. And then Kyle James has been really good on kickoff returns, 3 for 132 yards, averaging 44, including a breakout one for 64 yards. They're doing a really good job of getting their team in good field position.
Gal avoids pressure, throws it away. It landed near the sideline. Near the play was number 19, Coleman Smith. Pressure from the defensive line for the Cougars, able to make its way into the backfield. Make Wesley Gow throw off 1 foot, a little wobbler.
The defensive line, you know, they're not getting a lot of sacks. They're not finishing with tackles for loss, but they're just putting pressure on Gow, which is all you can really ask for right now.
Gow keeps it. A nice rush for the quarterback. Makes his way to the 36-yard line.
Cougars, whenever Gow decides to take off, they're having a hard time bringing him down. He's a big guy at 6'2", 205 pounds. He's got some decent speed under him, too. He's just such a hard target to bring down in the rushing game, and UChicago's really utilizing that.
D'Ambrose not able to get a push. Forward progress stopped at the 35-yard line. It'll be 4th and 3 for the Maroons.
Looks like they're going to keep their offense on the field.
Todd Gillers Jr., the first-year head coach for the Maroons, electing to go for it the first time the Maroons are trying a 4th down opportunity. Keeper for Gow, avoids a tackle in the backfield, and is able to pick up the first down. A good rush from the senior quarterback, able to avoid pressure in the backfield, and gives the Maroons a new set of downs.
Well, I said earlier, UChicago really good on 3rd down conversions last year. They were surprisingly good on 4th down conversions as well. 7 for 16, just above 43%.
Gow rolls right. Pass is dropped by Aiden Mandel. Last rush for Gow on 4th down, his 10th attempt of the game. 29 rushing yards for the quarterback. Hasn't had to rush as much as Ehlers on the other side for CUC, but he's effective when it is, just picking up a little bit of chunks of yardage. Gets ready for 2nd and 10. Hand off to D'Ambrose, left side. Hard hit and brought down. Tackle was made by B.J. Pitts, the freshman from Waco, Texas.
Good job by the Cougars defense. They always seem to know where D'Ambrose is going. They're able to meet him there. You know, it's very tough with him just because of how elusive he can be and quick on his feet with those change of direction moves. But they're doing a good job of anticipating his direction, always meeting him where he's thinking of going.
3-yard rush from D'Ambrose makes it 3rd and 7 on CUC's 28-yard line. Good rush from the Cougars as the Cougars are able to get to Gow and bring him down. Jelani Warner was in on the tackle, also assisted by Trayvon Thomas as well.
I think Brandon Mopford got in there as well.
A good rush from the Cougars' front 4. Pushes back UChicago all the way to the 34-yard line. A quick 3rd quarter for each of these teams as we get ready for the final 15 minutes of play. When we come back from a short break, Maroons up 21-14 over the Cougars here in River Forest at Concordia Stadium. You're watching Saturday afternoon football on CUCougars.com. We'll return shortly. So a 51-yard field goal attempt to come from Will Goodman. On its way, and it is good. What a kick. Will Goodman. A 51-yard field goal from the junior. Talk about coming back to fourth quarter football in a big way. Makes the score 24-14 in favor of UChicago.
It's got to be a little demoralizing for the Cougars. Get a big stop on third down. Get the big sack against Gow. And, and then their junior kicker comes out, hits the 51-yarder. Make it a two-score game now in favor of UChicago.
So Cougars have to get in action quickly here in the fourth quarter. Down by 10. Big-time field goal from Goodman. Correction on the field goal for that. A big-time 51-yard field goal again. Peter, that's the kind of leg that is a difference maker in the game. But talk about that, too. I don't think the Cougars were expecting that to go in. It didn't have really a lot of big boom off the initial contact, but found a way in. A fantastic kick for the junior kicker as he gets ready to kick things off from his own 35-yard line. Another touchback for the kicker. Cougars will set up shop at the 25-yard line.
Even though there's still almost an entire quarter of football to play. This is a big drive for the Cougars offense. They almost need to score. It's a two-score game against a very, very talented offense who you're always scared of exploding against you. Cougars, they got to pull back within this one right now.
Maroons have now scored in every quarter so far in this game. First non-touchdown score of the game for either team as Ehlers will roll right. A pass intended for the wide receiver number 3, Delvin Bledsoe, and he is now down on the turf. He's laying down at the 29-yard line. Both of the teams will head back to their sidelines. Cougars will be back in action again next weekend against Finlandia. Right back here on the campus of Concordia University, Chicago. For all the coverage of that game and everything CUC football and CUC athletics, go to cucougars.com. We'll wait to see Delvin Bledsoe get to his feet. He's able to jog off the field. A good sign for the sophomore receiver from St. Charles, Missouri. 2nd and 10 for the Cougars on their own 25. 14:52 remaining in the game. Maroons hold the all-time record over the Cougars by a record of 12-5. First time these two teams have squared off since 2014. Jet sweep over to Dalton Bowler. He gets tackled for a short gain, if that. Good pursuit by Jason Hinn.
UChicago, they've been all over those kinds of movements today. Cougars aren't being able to get much open sideline to sideline. They've had more success, and they're just trying to go up the gut and through those holes their offensive line opens up in front of them. That's been the recipe for success today. I figure they're going to have to pass here, third and long now.
3rd and 9 for the Cougars. 6 for 13 on the day on third down conversions. Fake handoff. Ehlers gains 2 with some contact in the backfield. Might have stopped a little bit of the momentum he could have had if he had a free pass up the middle. A 3-and-out for the Cougars offense will bring the punt team on the field. It'll be 4th and 7 from the 28-yard line. So now you're asking, if you're Andy Lambert, your defense needs to come up big here, and you're trying to keep it at a 2-score game.
Let's see how far Ryan Auer can pin the Maroon back in their own end. Big punt here would be big for them.
He's able to get a hold of it. Picked up by Michael Janis. Has a lane and gets dragged down at the 40-yard line. In on the tackle for the Cougars, number 32, Jonathan Ongst. Maroons will start their drive again in Cougar territory.
And now with Cougars defense, they got to be conscious. We know the kicker for the Maroons, he's got a leg on him, so you can't give up too much or they're going to be in field goal range pretty soon here. Don't want to let this 10-point game become a 13-point game as we're winding down in the fourth quarter.
DeAmbrose on the rush. Contact initially from number 41 for the Cougars, Marquise Overstreet. Pick up a 4 on the play. Ball on the right hash mark of the field. Two receivers far side for the Maroons. Gao takes it himself. Has a lane and stays in bounds and rushes in for the score. 36-yard rushing touchdown for Wesley Gao. His first touchdown of the game. Makes it a 30-14 ball game with 12:26 remaining. He was flirting with that near sideline, Peter, and able to keep his footing and stay in bounds. Was able to go right through what seemed to be just a pack of Cougars defenders near the sidelines.
I said it a couple times today. Gao's got really good feet under him, even when he's not rushing, avoiding Cougar defenders in the backfield. Just a very quick-footed quarterback. He's also really big, so it's hard to bring him down. And as we saw there, he's obviously got some speed to his game as well. He got up that sideline quick.
36-yard rushing touchdown. We'll take a look back at the replay. But again, just able to find some wiggle room. His longest rush of the day now has 59 yards on the ground. After the Goodman extra point, it is 31-14, University of Chicago with 12:26 remaining. So after a third quarter, which really saw limited action for each team, we had one drive for the Cougars that started off with a touchdown that really kind of set the tone. And it was a good drive in terms for the Cougars of trying to keep momentum. But then a field goal from UChicago, and then now the touchdown. Only 2 plays, 40 yards on that last drive.
Well, and the problem for the Cougars now is that this offense is best when they're taking their time, when they're being methodical, chipping away at the other team's defense. They don't really have that luxury now. You know, they got to make up 17 points in just under 12 and a half minutes of game time. So they're going to have to speed up their offense, which is when this offense usually runs into trouble.
Another touchback from Goodman. Well, Goodman has really been that difference maker. You alluded to it in the first quarter when we were talking about how both these offenses were a little bit stagnant. They weren't really moving the ball as well. And we said maybe the punting would be the difference in this game. But the kicker, Will Goodman, for UChicago, has really been a difference maker on special teams for the Maroons. The 51-yard field goal, but again, really has not given the Cougars any chance to return the ball on the kickoff.
I was just going to mention no return kickoffs. They're not really an option right now for the Cougars, which means their field position's always going to be the same to start drive. And then obviously you tack on a 51-yard field goal. that's just going to kind of demoralize the other team.
Gerald Crawford on the carry. A 5-yard rush. 2nd and 5 for the Cougars. Ball will be placed at the 30-yard line.
This is where the pass game is really going to come in handy for the Cougars. They need to make up some points and do it in a pretty timely manner. And as good as their rushing game has been as of today and really the entire Andy Lambert era, they got to go downfield right now. They got to start scoring some points.
Another rush for the Cougars. Just a 1-yard carry for Gerald Crawford. Chris Murphy was around to make the tackle. Third and 4 for the Cougars. Trying to avoid back-to-back 3 and outs, I should say. Maroons defense maybe doesn't have as many tackle for losses or sacks as the Cougars. In fact, they don't have a sack yet in this game. Cougars with 4. They've just done enough to keep the Cougars offense at bay. And now a tackle for a loss. Number 48, Aiden Capolino. The junior linebacker able to stick DeAndre Daniels. Another 3 and out for the Cougars. Brings the punt team on for CUC with 10:51 remaining in the game.
Capolino, second team all MWC last year. They say, big time players perform at big times in a game, and we saw it there, exploding through that line, get to Daniels before he's able to get anything going. Brings up a big 4th down and punt now for the Cougars.
We're back to punt it away, and he towed this punt, and it's just going to take a bounce just over the 40. Parker Kelly, the long snapper, picks it up at the 36-yard line. So it flips the field a little bit for the Cougars. Maroons will have to start again in their own territory.
That punt wasn't looking great off the foot of like you said, Carter kind of towed it, but got a couple handy bounces in there and didn't end up as bad as it could. But Cougars defense, they got to step up big right now, get that ball back one way or another.
Maroons have scored on their last 3 drives. A handoff this time will be given to Greg Acer. A loss of 1 will make it 2nd and 11 for the Maroons.
Good job there by Julian Ramirez penetrating the line, stopping that run before it even got going. That's the kind of place Cougars are going to need right now. They want to get that ball back, have a chance to get back in this game.
What would have been a screen now pulled down by Gao, has some room to run. He gets upended at the 50-yard line. Tackle is made by Charles Kirtley for the Cougars. Another big pickup for the quarterback who, and we mentioned not many big-time rushes, but had the big-time scamper in the last drive and now has a nice double-digit run to pick up the 1st down.
He's taken off 13 times today, 74 yards. He's averaging 5.7. That's more than his running back D'Ambrose is. I mean, it might not be his specialty, but Gau's looked good when he's had the ball today.
Another handoff to number 21, Greg Acer. Picks up about 7 on the play. Official spot will be at the 42-yard line of CUC, so an 8-yard rush makes it 2nd and 2. There on the rush again, able to pick up 1. Julian Ramirez in on the tackle again. 3rd down for the Maroons. Ball at the 42 again.
Cougars can get a stop here. They could end up with good, decent enough field position, depending on what Maroons decided to do with the ball, but they got to get a stop here.
Little floating pass over to D'Ambrose, who gets hit by number 22 of CUC, Cleveland Tucker. Be 4th down for UChicago. Offense will stay out on the field for the Maroons. 8:11 remaining in the 4th quarter. 4th and 3.
Maroons 1 for 1 on 4th downs today. Trying to keep that number 100, keep the drive alive.
Pitch outside to D'Ambrose, coming down for the tackle for CUC was Cleveland Tucker, but D'Ambrose was able to just get over the 1st down marker. A new set of downs for UChicago. Keeps the ball in their hands as we're under 8 minutes now in the 4th quarter. Three receivers on the near side for the Maroons. Gal rolls right, has some backside pressure, stops, throws it up, and a little grab from the defender for CUC, but no flag thrown. Pass was intended for Jaden Lucien.
A good job by the Cougars defense. They got into the backfield early, got Gow on his feet out of the pocket. Almost made something happen still, but good job on the defense, making him feel uncomfortable.
Brendan Ball on the coverage. The safety on the near side for the Cougars. A handoff again to Ehlers. Picks up about 1 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 9 for the Maroons. Ball on the 37-yard line in CUC territory. One receiver on the far side for UChicago, that is Gabe Soley. Gow looks his way, gets it to Soley. A nice tackle from Charles Kirtley around the 31-yard line.
They're definitely in field goal range of Goodman. But I think they're going to go for it here, 4th and short.
Maroons trying to make it back-to-back 4th down conversions on the drive. 4th and 2. A handoff to Ehlers. He has it and more. Stumbles his way before stepping up at the 20-yard line. Official marking will be at the 23-yard line. UChicago starting to pick up tempo, trying to extend their lead of already 17 on the Cougars. Another handoff to the running back. Pickup of about 1 on the play. So right now, UChicago on an 11-play drive of 42 yards. They are just eating away at the game clock. 5:41 remaining in the game. Just keeping the ball out of the hands of the Cougars.
I don't think they're trying to get all these 4th down attempts, but it's working on their favor. They're converting them and just taking up more clock. 4:18, it's got to be one of their longer drives of the game.
D'Ambrose back in the game. He gets stopped at the 20-yard line before he is brought down by 2 Cougars defenders. Jelani Warner in on the tackle, along with Trevon Thomas. It'll be 3rd down for the Maroons. Third down and 7. Ball on the CUC 20. Bunch formation near side. Gal drops back, has pressure in his face, able to get the pass off to Gabe Soley. He's tackled at the 17-yard line. It'll be another 4th down opportunity for UChicago. And it looks like they will bring out the field goal unit. Will Goodman comes off of the sideline. It'll be a 34-yard field goal attempt. He's already hit one from 51. Kick is up, through the uprights, and good. Another field goal for Will Goodman. Makes it a 34-14 ball game. 3:54 remaining in the 4th quarter. Cougars are going to have to go down the field quickly, Peter, if they want to keep this game close.
They got to look to 3 of their wide receivers. Covington, that big contested catch target. Dalton Bowler, he had that big completion, big reception, I guess I should say, to start off the Cougars offense today. And Devin Bledsoe, not totally sure of his status after we saw him go down earlier, but we've seen him get some nice separation as well throughout the day. They got to start looking at those 3 downfield, but it's also going to be up to the offensive line of the Cougars to give their sophomore quarterback enough time to hit those downfield targets.
Goodman places the ball on the tee. Cougars need to go down the field in a hurry. Down by 20 with 3:54 remaining in the game. Another touchback for the junior kicker. Ball will be placed at the 25 for CUC. So, Peter, down by 20. Offense has not really had much production in the second half besides the opening drive of the second half for CUC with the touchdown. What do you think Andy Lambert is telling his team as they break the huddle?
Well, I would hope he's saying we got to go downfield. You know, you got to score at least 20 points in just under 4 minutes. And, of course, that's if your defense can get the ball back quickly, or maybe a helpful onside kick here or there. But they got to go downfield. As much as they like that rushing game, they can't rely on it right now.
Little screen pass over to Daniels. He's chased down, but stays in bounds. Will step out around the 40-yard line.
It's definitely another option for the Cougars are, short passes to their playmakers. They got a lot of guys who are pretty shifty after the catch. You don't always want to really rely on that because you never know what the defense is going to do, if they're going to push them out of bounds, whatnot. But they got to do something to get downfield in a hurry here.
A 16-yard pickup for Daniels on the screen. Ehlers drops one over, and it is picked off. UChicago with the pickoff. The interception from Braden Junker. First turnover of the game for either team. Comes at the 3:19 mark in the 4th quarter. An injured player on the field. It is a Cougar. Take a look back at the interception. Ehlers lofted it up. He had a receiver in double coverage. And then Braden Junker, the senior from Liberty Township, Ohio, with the interception. He had 2 last season. Able to get the first turnover of the game.
Last season, UChicago, they had the best pass defense in their conference, just allowing 101 passing yards a game. Right now, you look at the Cougars, they're at 102, so right around that mark. But as much as they needed to go downfield with that passing game, it was going to be a tall task with how good that UChicago secondary is, and we just saw why right there with Junker's interception.
Jordan White was the injured Cougar on the play. He is being helped off by the training staff. The Maroons will get the ball at the Concordia 46-yard line. Another drive that starts in Cougar territory for UChicago. And now a flag thrown on the play. Too many men on the field for UChicago. One of the rare penalties we've had in this game. 5th penalty called on the Maroons. A handoff over to number 23, Marcelo Ehlers. He gets spun around in the backfield and dropped for a loss. Ball will be spotted on the other side of the 50 at the 49-yard line.
Well, assuming UChicago starts running the ball a lot here, try and get that clock winding down. You know, those CUC defenders are being told just to rip and tear at that ball. They got to force some kind of turnover here. So they got 20 points to make up in about 2.5 minutes of play.
Blitz coming from CUC. Pass is hit outside to Gabe Soley. Picks up just a few yards. Just a 1-yard gain for the Maroons. Be 3rd down and 14 for UChicago. Bunch formation on the far side for the Maroons. CUC making some final defensive alignments. Handoff to Ehlers again. Makes his way close to the 1st down marker. Will end up 2 yards short.
Good run there for Ehlers. He just kept plowing through CUC defenders. A lot of hands trying to grab him, drag him down. No one could do it, though. This makes this 4th down more manageable for UChicago.
4th and 2 for the Maroons. A perfect 3 for 3 on the day in 4th down conversions. They hand it off to Acer. He gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a turnover on downs for the Maroons. Cougars with a nice late game stand. Send their offense out onto the field again with under a minute to play in the game.
Well, Coach Lambert still has 3 timeouts to play with here for the Cougars. But I don't know if they really have any other option than just keep sending that ball downfield.
Trevon Thomas and Brandon Arredondo on the tackle for the Cougars. Receiver in motion for the Cougars. Dumped out on the near side and running out of bounds. Adirian Sykes, the freshman from Lake Village, Arkansas, with his first reception of the game. A nice pickup to move the chains. Ball will be spotted at the 50-yard line.
It's a good job getting out of bounds, too, stopping the clock. Took about 5 seconds or so off of it.
Two receivers each side. Ehlers tucks it and runs. He is hit hard by Aiden Capolino. And now a timeout is called by Andy Lambert with 46 seconds remaining in the game.
Don't know if that's the call that should be made there, Cougars. They got to get downfield, and as good as Ehlers has been rushing today, you don't want to rely on your quarterback to take it all the way when you need to make up some big yardage now.
Both these teams now with 301 scrimmage yards in the game. Cougars with 114 through the air and 187 on the ground. For the Maroons, just 97 through the air, 204 on the ground. These two teams have had their chances. Again, it was a slow start for both of these teams. It took a while for either team to score. First of the game came for UChicago with 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Cougars come out of the timeout for a 2nd and 9 try on the 49-yard line. Receiver in motion, Nate Speed the second. A nice throw out of the backfield. Gerald Crawford able to make his way down just across the 30-yard line. Clock stops for a moment as the chains reset. Ball is placed at the 30-yard line. 19-yard pickup for Gerald Crawford. Ehlers right side, lofts it up and into the hands of number 24, Braden Junker. He's going to stand up and finally take a knee around the 6-yard line. Second interception of the day for Junker. Ehlers was looking for a man down the sideline. Threw it a little bit too far and a little bit too far away from the sideline. Second turnover of the game for CUC. It looks to be the writing on the wall and end of the game as UChicago will come back onto the field, most likely entering the victory formation. A game that started slow but ended with some fireworks. The University of Chicago comes to town in the first game between these two teams since 2014 and is able to start off their 2022 campaign with a 34-14 victory over the Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Maroons improved now to 13-5 all-time against the Cougars. They'll get set to take on Illinois College next week. For the Cougars, they will be at home again against Finlandia University at noon here at Concordia Stadium. Coverage will be on CUCougars.com. Peter, final thoughts from this game. It was a close one going into halftime, and then after that, the Cougars led up 20 points in the second half. And after the initial start they had where they scored the touchdown, the defense couldn't really stop the offense for UChicago. And at the end of it, UChicago just a little bit too much firepower and a little bit too much late-game momentum.
I know it's not the result CUC wanted, and that fourth quarter wasn't the best football we've seen out of this team. But those first three quarters, really, it was 21-14 going into the fourth quarter. That's a really big achievement against a UChicago team that was good, very good last year, very high-scoring team. This was a great game for the CUC defense. It's just going to be on that offense now to kind of figure things out, which you assume they will do. Again, Carter, it's the first game of the season, but, ignoring maybe that fourth quarter where things really slow down for the Cougars, I don't think this was a bad game for them at all.
Quick shout-out to the production crew for today's event. Chandler Kerr, Wyatt McLaughlin, Rafael Gonzalez, Sydney Lloyd, Janie Turnez, Kate Johnson, as well as Emily Balaban, Ryan McGee. helping out with the production under the direction of Sydney Palaskis, Lawher, Kayla McLeod, and CJ Selner. Joined by Peter Borkowski in the booth, I'm Carter Gledhill signing off from Concordia Stadium. We'll see you back here next week for more football at 12 o'clock against Finlandia University. Cougars get ready for week 2 action in a week. We'll see you then, and as always, go Cougars.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.